or why one of the figures is filled in and the other then is just the outlines?
Yeah, then this commission piece was really originated by the discovery of the 2 new moons in the Uranus system. And the planet Uranus is in the center, and the sleeping head of Romeo really represents the Uranus planet. So you have Juliet here as an orbiting moon, like these are all orbiting moons around the Uranus planet. They are all named by Shakespearean characters. So the new moons had to be named also after Shakespearean characters. So they researched all the different plays, and they picked Cupid, who shoots his arrow on Juliet, who's looking down on sleeping Romeo. So Cupid is a new named moon, and the other one is Queen Mab, which is the fairy queen that really rides a little tiny carriage with drawn by dragonflies, and she whispers information and dreams into the ears of sleeping people. Like Mercurio talked about it in a monologue of Romeo and Juliet, and so she appears in this little passage, and she is kind of evil and kind of mischievous and kind of a fairy queen. So she plays around. Like most of the Shakespearean plays, they have this thing like with Midsummer Night's Dream, like Oberon and Titania, they compete against each other about who's more attractive and who's more powerful and all these things. And so these little mischievous figures like doing things to each other, and when you see the orbit you have all this feeling of they are all around the sleeping head of Romeo, who is dreaming, so he could dream up all these things, like the planet is there, the moons are turning around him, and they all relate to him in their way. They could play their plays. They play Desdemona is desperate because her husband might have betrayed her, and you have all these little things. Puck is running around with his magic wand doing things to other sleeping people in Midsummer Night's Dream, and you have all these little stories around it, like Ophelia is about to drown in the pond here on the side. Everything is in a way related, but they are also in their little own world of their plays. So it all plays together in the style that my client wanted the character of the Shakespearean plays in this piece. So he asked to be very playful and fairy-like. So the wine gave the tone of the garden, where a lot of plays happen in the garden or outside, and so the grapes represent that. Also a little bit the grapes are related to Dionysos, or to drinking wine and having a party, and all these stories that light, and also that you kind of
a festival.
A festival where you also play games with each other, social games. And a lot of plays he wrote are about that you mistake an identity, or talking about other one behind their backs, and all this stuff that going on in there with all intrigues and stuff. And a little bit it should relate that in a very light way. So it was coming all together in that sense.
It's fantastic, and of course then
the Hubble as the discovery, and the Shakespeare as the base of this piece,
it all
basically.
Together. It's fantastic. It's really fabulous. Really interesting. Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. And it's the logic page.
It's wonderful.
Where you have all that.
So everywhere where you position one of these characters, there's in reality there's a moon.
Yeah.
And this moon is named
after
Portia,
this
character,
which
Portia is now shown here.
Yes, right.
Carlos was saying that the specific location is absolutely accurate to what it is.
Yeah. So like Puck is exactly where the spot is here. That's exactly at the outer orbit of that. That's exactly where it is. While Queen Mab is right in the center of it, right where the dragon touches the orbit. That's her position. So you have all that. And Cupid is right there where his knee is on that orbit, right there.
Now, and this planet now is
Uranus.
But the image in there, it's
It's
Romeo.
Romeo, yeah. Yeah, that I put there to really enhance the story because it's not about the name giving of Uranus in that sense. It's more about Shakespeare. Uranus is a Greek, even pre-Greek god of fertility. And that's really a whole different story to it. So I didn't really deal with that. I did it in other story in the solar system. I did a piece about the solar system, and there I have him as a fertility god, basically. So yeah, that's just all about the Shakespearean plays.
And those two, are those now moons too, or are
Yeah, that's Cordelia and Ophelia.
But they're like
Yeah, they
another
are
orbit,
outside.
which is not.
No,
Okay.
they're just not in that system. But my client wanted them to be part of it, so I needed to keep them somewhere in there.
So you kept them in the frame.
Yeah.
How unusual.
Yes, exactly. They didn't drift out completely. Like there's one, her name is Miranda, and Miranda is like out of the frame. So
She just had
she is
the
far out
excluded.
there.
She had to be
Midsummer's
excluded
Night
from this
Dream,
one.
isn't it?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's really unfortunate, but it's like it happens when you look up the system. Many times you see Miranda because she is one of the very far out moons, but that's a pretty well known moon, but she's not in that piece. So because this is all about the discovery.
How
Discoveries.
exciting.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a
it's
beautiful
great.
one. And I know that you worked on it last year already, so.
Yeah.
When was it ready?
Now.
Oh,
This
okay.
week. I got
Oh,
it from
really?
the Framer store. Yeah.
Oh my
I
gosh.
just basically finished it this week. We did everything in time, so it's really exciting for me to see it also coming together.
Yeah.
So for me, it's great, and he
Yes.
comes by tonight to pick it up.
Oh, he does?
So
Wow, he's
that's-
been waiting a little while.
Yeah, he waited patiently this whole weekend.
But
Oh my God.
Hey, if that's better than what I do. And so he really got into that so much that he really wanted to make it really nice. So he was so excited about it. How you like the colors?
It's very, very nice. It worked very well. Yes, the blues and the greens, and it's just. I'm really looking. I want to see the lighting on it. That I guess we'll have to wait
we
till I
had
get
that
home.
just half an hour ago. We had the
Oh.
sunset here.
Ah.
We had a really crisp line of everything. It's
Yeah.
just incredible.
Yeah.
We were all standing here. We were all looking at Ophelia. You have a little bit here. Let me see.
Yeah, this is like the one.
There. No, it's
Yeah, it's just diffuse light now.
yeah. But you get a little idea when you see it how it starts to vibrate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really fantastic. That's really. Yeah, it was challenging with the coloring, but it was really good too. I had a really good time with that. But I can't even tell you how many layers I put on it.
Yeah.
How many layers. I started really with light colors and then layered it into
I think it's fine to dark color
because it really,
I love the
really.
details, and since the shadow, there's enough separation, which is a little hard for me to sort of imagine it. But there's enough separation there that I think with the lighting a little bit on the side, you'll see the black shadow very, very, very nicely.
Yeah. I think it casts really good. That would be really nice. The best would be really if you could find a spotlight on the upper opposite.
I have, so the room where we put it in, we had remodeling done in our house, and there's been an empty spot on the wall for this for a year now, but we had track lighting put in.
Yeah.
And so I can move the lighting around and find what's going to work just best.
The color will come out really with the spotlight so much more because also you will discover some of the blue has a little iridescent touch, so it will really kind of glow a little bit, which was really interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's all different. There are really, really many different layers.
Well, look
to
at
it.
the details. I mean, now that you draw a few little details that we're talking about taking out, and there's nothing holding this up anymore,
Right.
which there was for so long, but it's just
floating.
it's exquisite there. Yes.
Yeah, you see really the lines and the details, and it really comes to life how it is. I was really excited about the change from the white into the
Yeah.
dark, because that's always the moment when it really starts to pay off.
And I'll tell you what happened. I took your picture. I took photographs, and I was just went into Photoshop. So of course Romeo was white at the time, and so I just went into Photoshop and did inverse, just changed did a negative of the picture, and suddenly Romeo, the eyelashes and everything about Romeo just were completely different. And you must be used to working in the negative sometimes because you're working in white, and then it's going to be a darker color.
I see it reversed.
Yeah. Well, I had trouble. I mean, I could sense what was coming, but when I saw that picture, I was just so excited because it was like, hey, look, looks like Romeo. I like, with the deep eyelashes and everything. It's just,
no, it's glad it worked out, and it was really nice to also do the coloring from the little purple part
I see that.
into the blue, and then again into the green a little bit, give it like a little touch. So it was fun, and also it was fun to explore the white, pink, purple kind of touch in all these spots. But when I was doing it, I was really tempted to make it darker. So I really got excited about the thing from actually going from this spot into the darker areas like this, and I didn't expect we would end up here like this, but I like it.
No, it's beautiful. It's really intense.
Crisp and nice.
Yeah.
Like the international
International Astronomical Union, and they
Cupid.
so we proposed the names Mab and Cupid.
Which made sense with the
Right.
previous one.
Do they ever reject it?
Yes.
Like
we-
Coca-Cola.
They had different ideas. We had this Mab we came up with right away. Cupid we went through a couple of proposals before that actually they didn't like, and then we said, well, how about Cupid? Because Cupid is actually a character in Time of Athens, which is not a very well-known Shakespearean play, but still that made him, because the name had to be a name out of Shakespeare.
Yeah, good that there were so many choices.
Well, he was a very prolific writer.
That's cool.
Now, why are these women in here?
They're all moons.
They're all moons.
The names of Moons of Uranus. The Moons of Uranus are all named after characters from
Is he
Shakespeare.
So nobody ever
that's why you
seen
choose
these rings.
Romeo.
It's more like
Well, these rings we had only
market.
seen in, we discovered two rings, very faint rings, and two small satellites, which are the Mab and Cupid.
But my
We used the Hubble
derived it from
telescope.
your
I know.
papers.
We used the Hubble
There's nothing
telescope.
you can.
We used the Hubble telescope and it got the best and the most sensitive images that ever been obtained of the system, and that's how all these features showed up that I hadn't known before.
So what have you
That must be
named your
cool.
new moon?
Well, so Mab is one moon and Cupid is the other moon that we got to name. And these two outer rings were very faint dusty rings that we discovered.
Oh,
That's
isn't that exciting?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's.
Gosh, and to have an art piece.
I know. Oh, it's a great idea.
yeah, so it's kind of the ultimate souvenir.
Exactly.
You discover a moon that and a quarter will get you, or that and $1 will get you a cup of coffee. But, this is something that'll be unique.
And what is this? It's a grape leaf?
Yes, that's the ornament.
Well, the vine, you remember from Shape of Romeo and Juliet, the balcony scene. There's vines, and he climbs up the vines. So that's that was entirely your idea, was the vine to frame the whole thing, but then in bringing it down and to suggest the balcony right there, I thought was very, very nice. Part of it.
Yeah. It challenges the space, the outer space, that there's nothing really you can do.
Yeah, I love that.
One of the
So you
moons-
want that
Chef?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you won't have colleagues who say, these rings should be further apart.
Well, we drew.
Yeah.
They're actually pretty
It's kind of
accurate.
right.
I drew out the scale of the system and
Okay.
Oh,
I
really?
followed that. Yeah.
This was a little collaborative.
Yeah,
A little bit.
That's cool.
It was
So
really
we've got-
exciting. I learned a lot of.
Shakespeare here or Roger Bacon?
Yes.
And that's not Mab there. is
That's
it?
Titania and Oberon are the queen and king of the fairies, who
Oh,
are also
right.
the two
They're
largest
in the
moons.
Midsummer Night's Dream.
Right, and they're the
Yeah.
two largest moons of Uranus. So they are kind of outside this whole system, in the orbital sense, but they're such great characters that to have
Yeah,
them sort
yeah.
of looking down on the system, kind of the way they do in the text of Midsummer Night's Dream. They're just kind of ones that sort of watch all the action of all the
Yeah.
other characters.
I
They don't
saw
really-
them in the park this summer.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
They-
that's
Did you see them?
No, I didn't.
Oh, they were so, I mean, you know, as many times as you see it, it's still always different
Mhm, yeah.
from the previous, and they were really cute. They
Mhm.
were really, yeah.
Yeah, that's really fun to have them watching the whole
Watching the whole
environment
show,
there,
yeah.
what's going on.
So in astronomical words, they would be outside?
Yeah, they would
this
be
picture?
outside the
Okay.
picture. Yeah.
What I
Oh,
thought
that's fabulous.
so interesting is with the figures. It looks like after reading the passage about the map whispering things in the ears of sleeping Romeo, I thought it's so interesting to see the figures in that way, because it always looks like they playing their plays. You know, they're in around it, and they acting out what they are as
stand
characters.
for. It's
But you hear them almost like talking monologues to each other and talking with. Chatting with each
They're
other
all
and having
busy,
like
aren't
little
they?
yeah, they are all very busy and all like in their own little
Mhm.
place.
That's
And I
very
thought that was
Shakespearean,
so,
right?
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
so
They-
interesting to
going
get
on.
this idea from the dreams of
Mhm.
Romeo, basically, to dream up all the
Yeah,
emotions
that's a
and,
way to
you
look
know,
at it. I like that.
So to have that all connected, because there was this question in the beginning how to connect all that,
Yeah.
all the different levels of drama and tragedy, and
Just-
comedy,
Yes,
in
any
a way that it's really,
Mhm.
you know, makes sense.
Now, what is this down here? This is,
This is Ophelia and Cordelia.
That's
are
Ophelia.
These represent two moons that are actually orbiting in the middle part, so I couldn't possibly put them in there. And but in
And
fact,
overcrowded.
I said don't bother with Cordelia and Ophelia unless they have a place, but as a way to kind of fill in what would otherwise be a kind of
she just has
empty
to drift
region.
by, doesn't she?
Well, she's dead, you know, she drowns. So
There she drowns, right.
Yeah.
There she goes.
Ah, this is Cordelia.
Yes,
Yeah.
in the arms of King Lear.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yes.
Same
Of course,
time. What is this?
That's the Hubble
Let's
telescope.
go.
The
Oh
telescope
my
we used to do
God.
the discoveries.
It's an unusual name.
So you have,
Students are
how do you
British.
access
Very
the Hubble
British.
telescope?
Well, I'm an astronomer. You write proposals
Artistic.
once a year. There's a call for
But that was
proposals,
whole
and
music.
those proposals get evaluated. If you're selected, then you get a certain amount of time to do the observations you've described and proposed on the
Yeah, my
instrument.
brother had
So
a
Jack, my colleague, and I
music
have been doing Uranus observations since 2003, based on the time we got allocated by a committee of scientists.
So how much time do they allow?
Oh, we get, they allocate time in units of orbits, because Hubble goes around the Earth in 90 minutes. So
Okay.
basically, you get 90 minutes at a time, and that's what they allocate. And so we've gotten a total of maybe 100 orbits now over the past 4 or 5 years.
Wow,
So,
yeah,
yeah.
it takes that many to discover.
So you can say where the thing is
This
located.
little moon, actually both of these moons turned up in the first images I got. I mean, because it was an instrument that had never been pointed at Uranus, and was the most powerful instrument in the world. And,
So they were looking at Mars or something
well,
else,
or the galaxies. I mean, it's got all its time allocated, but most of it's done looking at I mean, just go to Hubble.org, HubbleSite.org, and you'll see incredible pictures of star clusters and nebulas and galaxies and everything else. And a fraction of that time is devoted to the planets, but most of the time it's looking at other kinds of important science questions.
About the degradation.
Yeah, it's great.
I find that astronomers, I've gone up to Tamalpais. You know.
Oh, I've done lectures at Tamalpais.
Oh my gosh, I get blown away by it, you know, it's just,
Oh,
it takes me so long to get there.
Yeah.
We knew it. But,
Yeah, just
I
last
think
summer I
it's
did one of the
fascinating.
lectures at South
Did you?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And about 10 years ago I did another one.
Yeah.
Saw them too.
Yeah, I think that's, and the astronomers up there in the parking lot,
Mhm.
they compete for your attention.
Oh, yeah,
So-
that's fine. I don't have a telescope.
But they're, but